That's a thing here in America. And
All right, so we've made some good progress. I would say it like that. All right, so we got the tools on the wall. We got my future laundry room slash bathroom. No actual plumbing, so it'd be like composting and everything. Blech. I meant to buy this for someone else, but it wasn't going to come in time for the Christmas party, so I kind of got stuck with it. And I figured, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll use it as a sound system for my house, so I don't have to listen through my speakers anymore. And I was running it off my big inverter, but then I had this broke ass inverter I had from a long time ago. It used to be in my car, and it's originally how I charged all my devices and everything back before I even built this place. It's about as wide as I can get it. So we have the workshop. And the fridge is not working. It's actually just storing my computer because it is unbelievably dusty in here. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, speaking of why. Is there someone in there? Yes, there is. Oh, I can't use the I can't do that. Hi, Tatterkins. Hi, Tatterkins. Oh, it's like my second day off, and I finally got enough rest, so I'm trying to get everything cleaned up. There's so much I need to finish on this, but it's really money, and I had to buy a $1,300 car. So, of these batteries, that battery and that battery are the two batteries I bought brand new from Walmart. All of these and these were $100 used from people who had them out of RVs, I think it was. So we got this capacitor here. It's for sound systems, and what it does is it helps keep the batteries from having to overly discharge. So whenever I draw a lot of load, like when I'm using my bands, my saws, my skill saw, my saws, tools, it draws a lot off the batteries. So what this does is when it draws a lot off the batteries, it gives power back to it, so that way it's not depleting as much. I think that's how I had it. Yeah, because I got it hooked up just to the batteries. Because there was another way you can do it where I think it's like you actually pull volts from this, but yeah, I'd have to actually look up how to do that and again and everything. Like it's things I think you can do it that way. I don't really want to mess up my solar control unit. That was an expensive one. It was either 200 or 400. I don't really remember. I do have 112 volt going to cigarette lighter type of multi-port. It's like 150 watts or 250 watts. Have one coming out of the load, and the load just stays on all the time. And then for my electric blanket and my inverter, a crossover in my workstation, I'm drawing off two 6 volts that have been series parallel, I think it is, to be 12 volts. They're charging off the head batteries, which I'm not entirely. I put this up a long time ago, so I don't really remember. Okay, it looks like this is looks like this would be the head battery, and then that would be the second battery to the head. So what, like the first slave, and then second slave and third slaves. I think it's something like that. A lot of the times when I build this stuff, I know what I'm doing at the time because I did a whole bunch of research, but I walk away for a little bit and I kind of forget. Always try to reuse things as much as possible. Some people will know what that is. These bulbs, these lights, are actually 12 volt. They run off 12 volt systems. I do have a secondary system that's kind of confusing, but that's how I end up plugging in all my lights. I also wire some things in with this system. You pretty much just kind of try to color code it. So got a big multi-port with its own little features and everything. And I usually use like the orange cords or yellow cords to signify the actually 112, 120, 110. It's actually 110. Alternating current versus DC current. essentially what it boils down to. Oh yeah, dogs. You know, so they got water. We got the dogs area, which goes down into ground level, and they go out through there into the kennel system. There's a lot more I need to do. Like, I really want to put some rubber flaps around those ridges, those edges, the flooring part down there. I cannot talk. But I want to put some rubber stuff down there so when they come through, it'll help limit the amount of dust and dirt they bring in. And I'm probably not going to build a wall, but more of the same thing, like some type of curtain system here, just to help keep more of their dust and dirt out of the house. And it's a lot. It is a lot. Carpets were throwaway carpets. I was doing this really nice hardwood flooring over here, and it's really nice and stable. However, this stuff is like 5 times as much as plywood. And to get the job done, I ended up having to use plywood mostly. It's a little bit whiter, like it's a little higher on the wood floor part. And perhaps I make enough money, I could go ahead and finish off this rest of this part as wood floor, and I'll just throw it out on top of the plywood, and it would be a little bit of a, yeah, there would be a little bit of a gap there, but whatever. This is my original workstation, which I cleaned out and converted it to more of what it's eventually going to be, which is my cooking area. We got food storage area where I also want to get a rack of batteries right here. We got this little room, this little triangle right here is actually going to be the heating room, where all the heat will be built up here, go up into the roof, and then with circulating fans be redistributed to wherever I need it. And this will be what my friend in Egypt's been waiting for, my little gaming room. So mostly it's just a bunch of, plywood, and then a bunch of pillows and soundproofing and everything. And then I'll have right here, I'll have a little 12-volt TV. They're about $400 or $500. I have a 12-volt TV just so it doesn't stress out my inverter system. Down here, I'm going to create a little drawer back here to where all my computers and inverters are going to be so I can pull that out to maintenance it, but keep it closed. And then with the box itself, have filters and air ventilation, so I can try to keep as much of the dust and dirt out as possible and keep that area clean and cool would be the idea. I've also was thinking on this one rack is I'll probably have a couple deep cell batteries that are just dedicated batteries for my computer station and a dedicated inverter. I like this Energizer inverter. I did a lot of research on it, and it was a guy who was trying to charge his Tesla, and that's what really got me into it. Ooh, up to 14 volts. The sun must be out. Oh, the sun is out. So this door kind of sucks. It was a door to a trailer that I got for free, a little pop-up tent trailer. And I want to rebuild the door, but I'm out of wood. I'm out of wood. This piece of plywood is something I salvaged. It was a door originally, but the doors just didn't work. They just didn't work. So it's a fucking mess in here, and that's pretty much my goal today, is just to try to clean it up a little bit. I'm out of money for insulation, and these cushions are pretty much the cushions that are going to go into my gaming room. And the leftover cushions are going to be for my dogs. As you can see, I can't leave my chair for a second. Hi. They got that bed right there. And then they got that bed in there. So yeah, and I did all this with, in the last 2 years, $30,000, not to mention living expenses and everything. I bought 5 acres in New Mexico. I bought a $13,500 car. I did a lot. I did a lot with not a lot of money. And God, I want to make more money. And I'm doing a job I'm not very happy with and that I don't really want to do, but you know, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and accept that, you know, you can't always get what you want. I gotta get this front tooth ripped out. It's been getting sensitive. I think it's gonna go infectious on me. I'm still smoking cigarettes too. I vape more now than I smoke really, but being home, taking these 3 days off, which I needed. I needed a day off. If anyone is here from my original days, yes, I resolved all my legal problems. So I'm just a good boy. I don't cause any problems. I don't go anywhere. I don't have friends. I just do my job. I come home, I build, I work, and there's a lot more I want to do. I just don't make enough money. Which is why I've always done YouTube. Not that I would say necessarily I'm that successful at it. A lot of times it's because I just don't simply care to try to make better quality videos. Or perhaps I just don't have much to offer. Other than my own pain, misery, and suffering and life experiences I had. That's 12-volt lighting. It's not bad. Little shadow right there, but future videos, especially on my gaming channel with my gaming room situation, I think I'm gonna try YouTube again. So hey, if you are new and you just found me, thank you. Hit the subscribe button. Let's see how this adventure goes. Maybe you'll like me, maybe you won't. Definitely a lot calmer than in my old days. But I was more into politics, and it was related to my job doing newspapers. I pretty much just drove around all night listening to podcasts. I don't listen to podcasts much anymore. I catch up on the news occasionally, but it's just not as interesting. And I did all this with $30K. It's not easy. It's hard. Sucks. And I had to break down and buy some propane for my propane heater because it was getting a little too cold in here. But that metal roof I put on top, oh, that is really helping to just keep the heat in here. It'll be pretty good in summertime too, to probably keep it cooler. That's a whole bunch of 12-volt fans that I use to cool with, and I make my own swamp coolers essentially. The hardest part about the swamp cooler is the squirrel cage fan blower. That's the hard one. Because usually they want to run off high volts.